Aloha and good afternoon, everyone. It is once again Wednesday, March 11, 2026. The time is 1:39 p.m. Will the Committee on Budget please come back to order? I'd like to welcome again to the Chamber committee members, Vice Chair Nishimoto, Council members Tolba, Cordero, and Kia Aina, and also joining us, thank you, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam. Okay, members, moving on with our agenda. Next, in our lineup of departments, we do have with us the Department of Community Services. For your information, their presentation is available online as Departmental Communication 185, 2026. And joining us, we have Director Anton Krucky, as well as Deputy Director Edward Los Baños. And you can introduce the rest of your team if necessary, but thank you for you and your team joining us today, Director Krucky.
Thank you, Budget Chair and Council members. For the record, Anton Krucky, Director, Department of Community Services, and our Deputy Director, Edward Los Baños. So today we're really proud to be able to present our budget. We think that it effectuates a important piece of what we want to do for the community and the many different facets, and I'd like to walk through those today. So a little bit about who we are. I think it's important that you can see, you know, that we do most of the human services activity and deliver those services for the city. But, you know, and the overall city budget is really fiscally prudent this year. And so we want to make sure that our most needy, whether it be from Keiki to Kapuna, you know, they're not bearing the brunt of a budget, but at the same time, we're delivering service to them. And we keep our eye on that. So this is the organization of Department of Community Services. And so I'd like to introduce some of our team members. I'm very proud, and we all came because we wanted to honor the work that you're doing to help complete the budget. But the administration, my partner Lee Wang and I, we run the administration department. She's our ASO. Office of Grants Management, I have Shane Akaji. And I also have Jordana Fiera, who's our child care coordinator, and that resides in that office. From our Community Assistance Division, today we have Carrie Kaneshiro. From our Work Hawaii Division, we have Le'Naala Nakamura. And from our Elderly Affairs Division, we have Derek Ariyoshi. From our Community-Based Development Division, we had Ted Hayden. And just joining us this year, our new Public Information Officer, Amanda Stevens. Also in administration, I misspoke there. We also have the Homeless Solutions offices in that department, and Roy Miyahira is here today. Thank you. Okay, so our sets of funds mostly come from federal government and state government. And in fact, 80% of our funds come from outside of the city. And even if you look at that, of the 40 million of the city funds, 10 million of that is in charter in the grants and aid. So we, as a department, we really leverage the outside funds coming into the city. But, you know, we're also living in an environment where the federal landscape changes like on a weekly basis. And so we keep tabs on that. And what that causes is there are things that happen that shifts, and also things like the government shutdown that we've experienced. And so we keep our eye on that. And then there are moves that we make as we do that where we pivot and provide services even in the face of that. Also, the HUD Regional 9 Regional Administrator has visited twice, and we keep pretty close to him, William Spencer, on what's happening in the HUD community. And throughout the presentation, I'll talk a little bit about some of those pivots. So as I go through each of our different divisions, the DCS administration, like I mentioned before, also houses the Homeless Solutions Office. And so we have, through this administration, I have a chart up there that really demonstrates in really focused, laser-focused activities in providing new beds for our homeless. Now, when we analyze problems, we really try to understand what pieces in there really have moves that we can make. And I know when I first came into this position, the HUD philosophy was you put somebody in a room, you surround them with services, and you'll end homelessness. Well, that will work for some people, but it doesn't work for all the people. We have people that have different issues that won't address it. And we also find that those aren't successful beddings. They go into those beds and then they leave. And so we worked hard on looking at how we could develop what I've kind of labeled beds of many flavors. And you can see by this chart the amount of beds that we've put into play since 2022. And these beds turn over periodically, and so they actually represent more than those numbers. And I think when you hear the mayor's State of the City address, he'll talk about some of the numbers he promised and some of the numbers he achieved via these new beds that we've installed. We also, in this department, in this division, we have the Kukua Command Center. And this is a new piece of work that we're doing in our solutions for homeless. So what we'll be doing in the command center is we'll really be looking for data that will help us make better decisions and then track our decisions and keep ourselves accountable for them. Examples of things we would do in the command center would be shelter availability beds so that we can triage people to beds. We'll be tracking diverted phone calls from 911 and the savings that we create to the city for those diverted phone calls. We'll also be tracking some of the new processes we have, like the MH3 that I think Dr. Ireland talked about with you, where we can track when we pick someone up, go to a hospital, track when they're going to leave the hospital so they don't come to the street, and we can get them right to another bed. The challenge in this area, though, of course, is enough people and enough places and people to run them so that you can get complete flow. Sometimes I'm known for saying, sometimes when the music stops, we don't have enough beds, but we have a lot more than we used to have. The Office of Grants Management will be coming in front of you this spring with the grants and aid proposals that we've done. So we've scored those proposals from the commission, and we're putting those together and be presenting them to you. Over $10 million was awarded to the community, and we look for a similar amount this coming year. Also in this group is the Child Care Coordinator's Office, and she published this year for the city, first time that I know of, really, is the Child Care Action Plan that we can work on. Child care is a huge economic difference maker in our economy. For people to work, people to have access, they need access and they need affordability. The Community Assistance Division really represents the largest funding division that we have in the department. And this really, the main part of that is the Section 8. But in addition to that, the Public Housing Authority does home loans, home improvement loans, and other activities. And you can see that the amount of money that they put in and how many households they serve. But this has been an area, since it's so large, was so subject to things that happened in the federal government. And this organization pivoted, had two different pivots this year that were very important. One was last year we got some extra money for our Section 8 vouchers. And we decided there was a risk in taking that money and giving those out to the vouchers, because if the money was cut, that means we would put people in houses and then take it away from them. And so we had to decide whether or not we take that risk. The pivot was we would. We did it. We did not lose the funding. So what we were able to do was to wipe out the waiting list that was there so we could start a new waiting list earlier. Also, we had this section of folks out there. One of the things the government had done was they had taken away the funding for emergency housing vouchers. And we had over 300 families that were housed that were exposed to being unhoused because they were taken away. So when we took the waiting list down to 0, rather than start the new waiting list, because it was 0, we got an exemption to put those emergency housing voucher people in the waiting list, and then we could issue all those vouchers to them, and they're already housed, so they didn't have any time to wait. They already were in their housing, so their housing choice vouchers worked right away for them. And then we're about to announce, we'll do this in a couple weeks, the opening and the awarding of the new wait list. So that was a great pivot in a time when the federal government was really, it was difficult to know where they were going and what we were going to do. The second pivot was during the shutdown this fall, we had put away money in our budget. So during that shutdown, we were still able to make all the rent payments for all of the Section 8 vouchers that we had out there. So nobody during that shutdown period experienced a lack of payment for their vouchers. Two excellent pivots during government uncertainty. Work Hawaii really is a multifaceted organization. They're like a service provider organization to different contracts that they provide. They are the home of the American Job Center. They are the home of the Rent to Work. And they also, for the city, provide the job fairs, so they're helping the city in their hiring needs. So across the board, just a great team player. Our Elderly Affairs Division really has taken care of our kapuna, and it's one of the largest growing segments in our population. this year, when I talk about pivots, this year during the government shutdown and the reduction in SNAP benefits, although SNAP benefits is really a state program, we had a network of feeding that we had developed during COVID, and we reactivated that network during the government shutdown to feed our kapuna. Also a very nice pivot. I'm very proud in this organization that Derek Ariyoshi, who I introduced earlier, has been recognized nationally, and he has been put as a board position on the U.S. Aging Board of Directors National Board. Our community-based development division really does our special projects. They house our special housing, special needs housing projects, and they also do the development of new projects. When you're looking for properties that in your districts, this is the part of our organization that would work those, make the applications to DHLM, and then take those properties and develop them for you. Right? I know that one of the concepts, since we have that picture there that I want to introduce to you, is the HONU leverage triage. And so I know that up till now, that you understand HONU as a tent village that does triaging to shelters. But we really are pivoting in a different way. We're taking this and it's a concept. And what we found was in the field, when you're trying to understand problems, especially in homeless, one of the key problems in homeless was that the case workers were spread too thin. And they were spread so thin that they weren't with the people long enough to convince them that they should go into housing or into medical treatment or wherever they should go, or know them well enough that they could help casework them back to their families. And HONU really is a concentrated effort of leverage triage. And since it's been so successful in doing that, we're making it really part of our strategy as a leverage. So there'll be a super triage person that'll be in the command center that'll be part of HONU, and then we'll have these two centers that we're proposing in this budget to be two centers for leverage triage into it. Their amount of people they can get to shelters far outweigh what we can do caseworker by caseworker by caseworker. So our total budget is is close to $182 million, and you can see the breakouts by different divisions. So details and changes from FY26 to 27. We're going 4 up in our FTEs, and that's kind of a mixture of some departments losing and some gaining. The biggest gains being in the Customer Assistance Division, which is our largest funded department. I think in between where you're looking at the salaries and current expenses, those gains there are representative of the HONU applications that we're making that are in this budget. The equipment is pretty small. The previous year we did toilet trailers and a couple things. That's why that money's there. The $70,000 really is a car and then some related expenses. I have a note that down on the bottom that's important. There's no budgeted overtime at DCS. When we use overtime, we do it from savings from salaries because we have a position open. On our service priorities that we have in our budget, you can see in operating expenses, the 335, that represents Evil Center, where we're really tenant to the city, and so we have to pay all the CAM and utility expenses there, so that's that part of that line item. The next line item is really an upgrade to an existing village that's in Waimanalo, run by Auntie Blanche McMillan, and very successful, but this helps us get them out of the flood zone and into an operation that is really going to be much more enhanced than it is today. We have some miscellaneous salary adjustments and operation adjustments. You can see the first one is HONU 1, and those are improvements. We've expanded HONU 1 to be a larger footprint. The base of HONU 1 is paid for by the state, and then we're asking for more money to sustain it at a higher level. And then the second one is the second development of a second HONU that we'd like to place, right? And then the last one in terms of our service priorities is some equipment and that we're going to do a vehicle for CAD and some other activity like that. CAD has 2 locations. They're in Kapolei. We have a Section 8 service office there and a service office in downtown. So they go back and forth between the 2 offices. Our 2027 revenue estimates, like I explained, most of our revenue comes from state and federal, and so that's the revenue we accept. That amount of being down by $800,000 is more or less flat So right now, the way we're funded from the federal government has stayed flat, but we're going to have to stay on top of that because the rules change and how they deploy that money, and we may have to pivot at different times. Some of the miscellaneous income is interest income that we have on some of the securities that we hold, the revolving fund or the customer assistance division loans, and then there's some small receipts that we get for salaries and fringe benefits. If we look at our vacancies for FY27, one of the things that we've taken on in our department is really trying to be the community services that the community needs. And so what that takes is some reorganization. And in doing these reorganizations, a lot of our positions are held up until those reorgs are done. And I know when I came and spoke to you last year, we had not yet gotten approval for the Elderly Affairs Division or Work Hawaii's their reorgs, and we got that approval, and now they're in the midst of executing those positions. And in that, we are also then released to be able to deactivate and abolish some positions. So reorgs take time. The way the city works and the union works, it takes time to do a reorg. But we will be doing more reorgs next year, as I said, I really want to make the department really responsive to what the community needs today. And so we have 119 vacant positions on the record, if you will. We're going to deactivate and abolish 31. So we'll have 88 vacant positions. And then in the reorg, we're in the process of filling 61 of those positions now that we're released. And that takes, you have to get a list. You have to look at the list. You have to interview off the list. And if you don't find anybody, you have to go get another list, interview off the list. It takes time to fill those positions, but we're dedicated to do it. We expect after we do that, we'll have 27 left. We'll fill 7 of those before the end of the year. The reason why you can do so many in the reorg is those people are already in the organization, right? We're going to fill 7 new additional positions before the end of this fiscal year, leaving us 20 to work on next year. Moving from operating to capital, we have some line items here that are in our capital budget. The first one is the community-based development grants, and I know that we talk about that. We've really have changed what we've done, and the focus for CDBG has been on our service providers, whether the city buys the building and we lease it, recognizing the social capital that service provider delivers to the community, so we lease it at a very low rate, or we award the money to them to maybe purchase a property or renovate a property for their work that they do. Community revitalization just allows us to work on the properties that we're working on and some of the upgrades that we have to them. The emergency solution grants is really matching money for grants that we have out there that we help administer. The home investment partnerships is federal matching, and that was their Work Hawaii's Rent to Work comes out of, a very successful program. The homeless facilities is money for us to take on some of these acquisitions and renovations that you're asking us to do. And then we have the Housing Trust Fund, which we've discussed here in council. It was really money for 30% AMI. We wanted to give it to HHFDC, but HHFDC gave it back. So we're going to have to creatively come up with a way to use that money this year. So that's our capital budget presentation. And so we're very open to any questions. Thank you for allowing me to present our budget.
Thank you so much, Director Krukey. We'll start with a quick question from Councilmember Cordero and then proceed on to Councilmember Kiaina.
Thank you, Chair Okimoto. A really quick question about the Community Revitalization Fund within your capital budget there. I know that when it was shored up and then also the properties that were purchased also restricted the use of the property. Are we still able to utilize that functionally? And if so, and if not, were we able to restructure the provision and provision for what the Community Revitalization Initiative funds are able to be used for?
Thank you for that question. We're trying to use the ones from this year and get them done before the end of this fiscal year at the Pauahi Hale in Chinatown. And then all of that won't happen. And so I'm kind of looking at these funds to help us continue that renovation there for that one. That houses over 60 units at 60% AMI and below.
Okay, thank you. And the second last question is for the increase in amount of units for transitional housing. I noticed the big increase from 2023 to 2024 and 2025. I don't know what's happening with Hale'Mali'ola, but wouldn't that be not as much of a decrease if Hale'Mali'ola is not functional, or is it still functional?
Okay, thank you for that. Hale'Mali'ola is still functioning. We tried to repair the bathrooms, but we're looking for a new location for it. And we would probably, once we find that location, I'd like to really upgrade what she's doing. Connie has some good plans. Connie Mitchell, the CEO over there. So that's what we're doing. And the reason why we have to relocate that one is the sewer plant and what it's doing needs more space. And when it takes more space, Matson needs additional space for staging its units, and that's that space. And so we've agreed that we would move that shelter to another location, and that's what we're working on now.
Okay, thank you. Looking forward to the updated unit count later on, if and when that happens. Thank you, Chair Okimoto.
Thank you, Councilmember Cordero. Floor Leader Kiaina.
Thank you, Director. Since we've had a long discussion on some of your programs in my office or even here, I'm not going to go into length into discussing this. So just say thank you for your overall presentation. Greatly appreciate the $2 million identified for the Hui Mahiai'aina in Waimanalo. It's been a long time coming since at the outset when it was so challenging, you remember? Especially when we're saying you can go mauka, you can stay at your property, and all that kind of good stuff. So looking forward to that. With regard to the grants and aid, I have to tell you, your staff is, when you look at, the criteria that they use, it was very, very fair, especially with regard to the smaller organizations. So I said that I thought that you guys are definitely on the right track. And as I may have mentioned in previous years, I think we were always concerned about more nonprofits being able to get funding, especially in this kind of climate. And, my idea of decreasing the amount, I've come to conclude was not a good idea, given the fact that they need more money than 100,000, yeah? Okay, so having said that, I would like to, in this year's budget, look to increasing the amount. I know you guys have already identified who would be awarded, and in concert with your manager of the program, I understand that perhaps 10 more organizations might be eligible. And as you know, because there are not a lot of pots for nonprofits, I feel that this could be the kokua of the council, and I feel that it's justified, even with our tight budgetary complaints. So I'm just stating a fact. I'm not asking you to comment on that. Third, with regard to the CDBG program, I do know that your deputy director has sent me a little more of the history of the nonprofits, and that was what I was looking for last week. I just want to be more fully prepared so that I can understand it. In particular, because of the comments made by the emergency services director with regard to their program for those who are mentally ill, who are on our streets. Part of the problem is they no more place to go. And so if you look at some of the funding that you've provided for mental health kokua, for IHS, even DVAC, and Hahoko, these are the types of funding streams and kokua that we need, because what you're doing is you're marrying up with another agency where there's a need, and they're providing a critical service for our community. So I just wanted to say I'm going to be meeting with BFS as well, because I understand that they, with the managing director, make a lot of the decisions on how to work with government agencies. So I just wanted to apprise you of that. And then lastly, both Councilmember Wire and myself recently raised concerns, especially of employees in your department. I never mentioned the department, but it is the Department of Community Services, who have felt that the manner of how employees were identified for temporary hazard pay was flawed. So I'm simply asking you, in concert with HR and the Managing Director's Office and HGA, to ensure that there was fairness. Because as I told the Director of Human Resources, for me, it is not enough to simply say we relied on the employee in charge, which is your ASO, and the director, right, for the numbers. I think everybody is collectively responsible to feel that someone was not left out in the cracks. Now, I understand the difference between teleworking full-time and teleworking part-time, but can you guys just take a look? Because there may be employees up to 45 who may be impacted, and it could be a lot of the hardworking staff that your presentation is about, and that's all I'm asking. So there's I'm done with my comments, but for that one, I do want some comments from you on the temporary hazard pay.
Thank you, Council Member. You know, it's unfortunate the way that was summarized. I don't think is totally accurate. I think that the department is dedicated to our employees that work during that time, and we present that. I would tell you that it will be resolved in 7 days because we're under letter on that. And so I've already notified HR, and our documentation that's supports or doesn't support but is more accurate than how it ended up will be presented, and the city will make a determination, and we have a get back in 7 days on that.
I appreciate that, but I don't know anything of my comments that was misrepresented. Are you talking about the temporary hazard pay?
Yes.
What was the?
Well, you said that it's what was presented by the ASO and the.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm stating
Right.
what I'm hearing. So if that was misrepresented, then, but it doesn't really matter. I just don't think I need to be told that I'm just trying to fight for the employees, okay? And that's what I understand. I don't have to be told that I am misrepresenting facts.
No,
If
it's
those
not
were
that
facts-
you did. I'm saying that the people that gave you
Okay,
that
got
made the
it. Okay.
summation, not you.
Okay, I just
But
wanna make
please
sure-
know, my dedication to our employees in the department is as strong as can be.
Okay,
And it's,
I appreciate that, and all I needed to know was that you told me that you guys are going to come to resolution. You know, again, you know, we talk about equity in different realms, and sometimes there's parameters, and I'm not even making judgment of anything, but there's parameters that people are given. At the end of the day, people do fall in the cracks, and all I'm saying is that you endeavor to do everything possible to make sure that it is resolved, period. That's all I care about.
me too.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Kia Aina. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Thank you. Two questions. First of all, you recently moved into 222 North School Street. How is that going, and what impact does that have on your budget?
Well, we've had to, thank you for that question, and thank you for the support in letting us move into that facility. We have spent some money to move in, and we're continuing to upgrade it as we go. I think that we have shifted. We had put some money previously in the budget for the ADRC out at Kapolei that now didn't happen, and that's going to happen at 222 North School Street. ADRC is the Adult Disability Resource Center, and we're going to open that up to the community in our building. There'll be some other expenses that we have, but we think we have, you know, shoehorned them into this budget, and we'll be okay. April 7th, I think, is our note that we'll invite all of you up to tour the facility, but it's excellent, and we look at it to be a much more resource for the community, not just a headquarters for the department.
Good. I wanted to ask about the rental assistance fund. In your operating budget, you're proposing using $233,000 from the rental assistance fund. How was that amount determined?
The rental assistance fund really is it, I don't know how, you want to, Edward, the use of it?
The rental assistance fund, the $333,000 reflects, it's an ordinance. It reflects a parking revenue from a couple parking structures that the city operates. So we do work with DTS to attain those revenues. They do support, I want to say, 4 city-owned properties, and they provide a small amount of rental assistance in properties where the rents are already affordable.
But I guess my question is, how was that $233,000 determined? Is that simply that this is how much we collected in last year and that's how much we're going to use this coming year, or is there more of an art to that?
That's pretty much it. I mean, as directed by the ordinance, it's the revenue estimate of the collections that gets remitted to DCS for us to fund the program.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam. Councilmember Tolba.
Thank you, Chair. Director, how's it going? Good afternoon. For the $7 million in homeless facilities, do you already have locations in mind?
We have 2 locations that we have submitted to DSHLM right now that we're reviewing. We haven't purchased them yet, but we are reviewing 2.
Okay, so I guess how did you come up with the $7 million?
We were asked for estimates on, we're trying to actually purchase one of them with this year's dollars, and we were asked for estimates on what it would take to renovate, and we gave estimates, and then they gave us the money. We kind of padded some. It kind of depends on, you know, like let's say we get one that's in your district, then we'd sit down with you and say, what should be our focus here, right? I've got this has to happen, but then there's some extra room. What would you like to do?
Okay. And these are like what, shelter beds? If we
Yes, so shelter beds, they can also be stabilization beds. They could be, rest stop kind of activities. But remember, we also have, facilities that are in Evalay, and the rail's coming through Evalay. And so we have to reassemble some of those facilities that are like at the Evalay Center into shelters that are outside of that area.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Councilmember Tolba. Vice Chair Nishimoto.
Just one quick question, Director. You talked about the Housing Trust Fund, the $1.35 million that you tried to give to HHFDC. Is there a lapse date on this money?
Edward's been close to this one.
So we are included in the state's HHFDC's consolidated action plan relative. The state's the awardee of the Rental Housing Trust Fund. Usually, one year's been, every year the city gets $1.35 million. We've had a hard time spending it. It doesn't fit in the capital stacks really well because it's going towards 30% AMI housing, and then because it's the capital money and it's not operating money, and the gap that it creates with 30% rents to run a building, it's not attractive money. We have been working with HHFDC closely on that. But that said, we are teed up in this year's action plan. So once the state gets the money, I believe they have 3 years to spend. So that's kind of the timeline we're going to get into. We will be issuing a solicitation for proposals for the $1.35 million and hope to stay on track with award. Because after we do the award, you actually have additional time after that to actually draw down and spend that money.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Nishimoto. Chair Waters. You good? Okay. Before I go for a second round, I had just a quick couple of questions. When you mentioned, you said you use salary savings. You don't have it here because you used, I'm sorry, for overtime you used salary savings, so it wasn't put into here. Could you tell me what that amount is? You didn't have it as an itemized list here.
Well, thank you for that question. It really doesn't do that way. So let's say we're waiting to hire somebody and it's 2 months before we can hire them, before they start. So in those 2 months, we get some salary savings, but in those 2 months, we still need the work done. So some of our employees will work overtime, and we'll use some of those salary savings to pay them overtime into the position. So for all purposes, although there's salary savings, we don't really keep them. We use them as if the positions were filled.
Do you have an amount of what that is per year? Or I guess this past year?
No, we don't. If we could really understand what you're getting at, we can try to analyze it for you and get it to you.
I'm trying to understand because in other departments there was they had itemized what the OT was used for. And you did mention that the OT right now is used for when you're waiting to hire somebody, other employees currently in. Okay, I'm sorry. Really quickly, I just have to. Pursuant to Council Rule 8D, I designate Councilmember Dos Santos Tam as a temporary voting member. Thank you for helping us to achieve quorum again, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam. I'm just trying to get an idea of what the OT is used for and how much is being used every year to cover this amount. If you're not going to list it here because you're just using
Yeah,
salary.
we can get you a number of how much we've done in overtime, but our goal is not to use overtime. Our goal is to get the positions hired so they're working, but we have no budgeted overtime. So that's why it's not in the budget presentation, if you will. But we'll give you the amount that we
Yeah,
have.
or whatever estimate you have. And just to be clear, so you said normally that the type of work covered in this OT is when you're waiting for somebody to come in, they're covering.
Right, or like in Honu, it takes time to hire people. And so, you're trying to staff it and move people around, and you got a 24/7 operation. So some of the folks work overtime. Also, Honu works during holidays. And so we use some of those savings to work. People get overtime for working during the holidays. It's Thanksgiving, but Honu's still operating, right?
Correct. And assuming that every department will have vacancies, you will always need overtime hours to be used then, even though your goal is to have the positions filled.
Well, sometimes you can have a vacancy in the department, but it's not funded. So it wouldn't create any savings, right? It's only a funded position that would create some savings. So, we're kind of, as we move through the year, we try to work with those ebbs and flows.
Okay. Yeah, if you could get me that estimate, I'm trying to understand, because the department before you, DPP, they did say, they explain what they use their overtime for. I know, and HPD, they explain what they use their overtime for. So I would just like to have an idea of what you're using your overtime for as well. And I think my only other question was just to follow up. I know one of the things over the years that since we've been meeting, you and your deputy were really, you had shared how you were able to get grants and a lot of your expenses were covered that way. Is that still something that we look forward to seeing? I know Deputy Director had shared how he's constantly working on those efforts. Is that something we can continue to see, or is it changing this coming fiscal year with the different types of federal funding being not as stable?
I think I'm very pleased that we're presenting an almost flat budget that's 80% grants and offerings. That being said, the administration has placed a couple people that have expertise in grants with the federal government and the state, and they're looking, they're perusing all of the different grants, and they're active with our administrators. So I'm hopeful as the year goes on, we'll be adding grants that were not even in our budget, but we can win those. I expect some be technology grants. They might be work-related grants. We have a new one that we just got with the veterans for getting veterans to work. I imagine that Jordana has been incredibly successful in getting grants in childcare, so I would see something along those lines. But yes, I expect to get more, and the administration's placing some of those specialists has really helped.
Okay, thank you. I see Deputy Director, and I do want to thank you guys. I know this is the one department I remember noting that you had been a really big advocate for finding funding through grants. Did you want to add anything, Deputy Director?
I can
Thank you,
provide a
Dr.
couple of
Kirky.
examples of what Director Kirky was talking about. So Edward Los Banos, Deputy Director, Department of Community Services. So moving right now across the street is roughly about $18 million for homeless services programs in the state budget, but isolated for the island of Oahu. So that $18 million is there as an example of something that we're pursuing actively at the state. I can tell you last week, Monday, Lei Nakamura, our Work Hawaii administrator, submitted a grant for a youth build. So it's something that we're actively pursuing on a regular basis.
Thank you. Thank you for giving us examples, and I look forward to seeing the great work that you guys will continue to do. Members, any round two questions? Councilmember Tolba.
Just to follow up on my questions, can you share with me the two locations that you guys are looking at?
I'd be glad to share those offline.
Okay.
I think if we do it publicly and we're in the midst of negotiation, that might be problematic, but I'd be
Okay.
glad to talk to you about that.
I was just hoping it was going to be in my district.
Thank you, Councilmember Tolba. Vice Chair Nishimoto, any follow-up questions for round two? Nope. Thank you, Director Kirky, and your team as well.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Members, we'll move on to the next department on our agenda. We have with us the Department of Information Technology. And for your information, the presentation is available online as Departmental Communication 186, 2026. We'd like to welcome Director and Chief Information Officer, Director Brian McKee, as well as Deputy Director Stephen Courtney. Aloha and good afternoon, Director McKee.
All right, thank you. Chairperson, members of the City Council, I gotta stop getting nervous here. I'd like the opportunity to thank you for coming and presenting what DIT is going to do. Show us what we're planning for next budget. I brought my A-team here. I've got Nancy Vo, who's in charge of applications. Brian Miata, raise your hand, Brian. There we go. That's a big reaction for Brian. He's in charge of security. Dave is the CSR and ERP. Tony, way in the back there. His guys take care of all the network. I've got Richard. Richard, thanks. He keeps everything working. He's got the people down in the basement, takes care of the data center. And of course I've got, I don't want to forget Kira back there. She's the Chief Data Officer. And then my deputy, Stephen Courtney. And Raina is my ASO. So.
Thank you, Director. And if I could just quickly interject, you have a new member. I would like to just like to recognize Mayor Blangiardi joining us as in the chamber. He might be joining your team, or he might just be gracing us with his presence. We're not sure yet. But welcome, Mayor.
Yeah, I was thinking he looked familiar. Okay.
Good-looking team. Thank you, Director.
All right. Well, thanks very much. I thank the mayor for his support. You might notice that of all the departments, I think there's only 2 that had a budget that was bigger than it was last year, and certainly I'm one of the 2, so that's great. I'll describe how the budget is different this year for us and where we're spending the money. I would like to point out that I asked for a whole lot more that didn't make the cut. I know what a lean year this is, but the mayor, when I came on board, he said, we're going to fix stuff and we're going to make Honolulu more modern, and we're going to bring it up to speed, and he's honored that. So I appreciate the help, and I appreciate all of your support as well. So as you see, we went up a little bit. We've got salaries, current expenses, equipment. I'm going to go ahead and get into some detail on all of these here. So our budget issue here, a lot of the money that we are adding is coming from a rollout of city and county-wide Office 365. I think most members of the City Council already have 365. So, when I got here, I was kind of shocked that we didn't. And so this is going to be a nice opportunity to give the people that work for the city and county, some modern back office tools that they can do their work. And then everybody appreciates not having to archive their email every 2 weeks. So that'll be nice. We also have the P25 emergency radio console replacement that we have to do. Let's see, let me put my reading glasses on here so I can read. That's something that supports all the emergency services. We're spending some money on surveillance cameras, and then of course we've got a lot of normal equipment that we have expenses for. One of the things that we're asking for is some new positions. This position here is an FTE in our security section. We've got enterprise resources here for some more salaries. We've got 3 FTEs in our CSR branch, 1 for ERP. And then of course, we have $250,000 in there for DocuSign. So we're actually getting into the business of really having a universally accepted electronic signature system that everybody can use externally and internally for the city. So all contracts, everything that gets done, no more pens in the city. That's the rule. We've got some vacancies. We have 17 vacancies currently. We are planning to fill them. We're in the process of filling them right now. We have 3 in the cycle. We're doing interviews right now, and we've got 1 that's being recruited. So we're working hard. 17 with a department our size is not too bad. So we're proud that we have some pretty good numbers there. Okay, general fund number. This is overtime hours. So we do budget for overtime hours. If we don't spend it, we don't spend it. But a good example of what the type of work that comes up, I believe last night, Tony's group had to go out and had to find some fiber that was cut right at the beginning of the storm. They found it over in Farrington Highway, and the crews had a bucket truck and got up there and got to work. And I guess they finished it at right about 3 a.m., right before the rain started. So in that case, the IT department believes now that they are IT professionals, and when something breaks and there's an impact to the customers, they understand that they work until it's finished, whether it's the evenings or the weekends. And so, we do spend some overtime pay every once in a while. Here's the overtime pay by activity. It's broken up by administration, applications, operations. I'd be glad to get into that if you guys are interested. And then we have the technical support. This is another breakdown of the overtime hours, just another way to look at it. DIT does make some revenue on this slide, in slide 10. We get some money from the state, the federal, and the county. We also have some towers that we pay rent on. We have wireless enhanced 911, and we have some land and some easements that we get paid for. So it's not a lot of revenue, but there it is. And we are exploring federal funds by department and activity here on this page. It's $81,924 currently. I will say that Stephen Courtney was in Washington, D.C. 2 weeks ago. He met with a Hawaii delegation. He talked about earmarks that might be available and grant funding that might be available for us. We're exploring every opportunity. I have been able to meet with a lot of the members here. And you guys probably heard me talking about trying to get off the mainframe. It's something that we really, really have to do. It's my #1 top priority, I guess. So it's kind of an end-of-life scenario for the Department of Customer Service. They have driver's licenses and vehicle registration that's still done by COBOL programs. And that goes with IMS, CICS tables that nobody can read anymore. It's on a mainframe that we spend $3 million a year renting from IBM. It's a state function that we take care of for the entire state, all the islands. And we really need to get off. We're at a point now where besides the return on investment, we only have 2 people left on our staff that can actually write in COBOL and take care of all the changes that the feds come down with every year. So I have some thoughts on how we can get away with that. I did some research, and I've entered into an agreement with the Department of Transportation in Arizona. They're willing to give me their system for free. I still need some money to implement it and do the conversion and make it, subject to everything that Hawaii has to offer. But the result is going to be about a $10 million, $5 million asks this year and next year. So I'm looking for grant funding. I've got some things going through the legislature. I've asked DOT to help on the state side. So it didn't make it through my budget this year, but you haven't heard the last of this issue from me. I could keep banging on this drum. I think we have a window of opportunity right now. We have very talented staff. We have the mayor's support. We have your support. We've got people that have run large, complex, risky projects, and we've got a deal from Arizona that I don't think we can match. So at some point, I'm going to get that money, and you guys will probably hear about it, and we'll start that project. So I think I only have one more. This is our capital budget. We actually did get some things. Every year we try to get our critical radio infrastructure towers refurbed. They're falling apart, and this year we actually did. The Mokulea microwave tower is really important to us, as is the stuff on top of the Kapolei police station. So we did get money in the budget for that this year. Look forward to plugging that gap, and I will answer any questions that you guys have.
Thank you so much, Director McKee. Members, we'll start this round of questions with Floor Leader Kia Aina.
Thank you, Director. It was a lean budget to begin with. So despite your overall increase, I have to say that I don't think it would have been passed if the mayor's, the managing director's office didn't feel that you presented the increase in funding that was direly needed. And so especially the P25 emergency radios, yeah? And even the rollout of the Microsoft software licenses. I don't really have any questions. I have confidence in your leadership, and just I feel how upfront you've been with what you're doing and some of the challenges you're facing behind the scenes, which isn't your kuleana, yeah?
Yeah.
Why would you have a state obligation and they're not providing kokua? That's a conversation for a different day, but you need to make sure the Hawaii delegation understands that and the governor's office understands that, because it's not fair. For my part, you already know what I'm going to talk about. I think that City Council is in the Stone Ages with regard to not having constituent-based management systems that we don't have to spend tens and thousands of dollars to just have. When I tried to secure vendors just for my office, it was minimally $8,000 per year, and that would come out of our $25,000 budget that we were allocated. So I just hope that you could have your team. They have come to sit with me, but I don't think I'm asking for a lot. I'm no longer asking for me to be able to interface with the outside world. I'm simply looking for a constituent-based management system where I could pull up when I get phone calls, emails, it rolls up. So at any time I could document who's in my district. I have codes, right? I have codes readily available already. So I just hope that your office and my office can work together to get that done, because this is our 6th year. I came in with the mayor's office, okay, and so I'm going on 2.5 years left.
Okay.
For me to have to use spreadsheets, and it's just chaotic.
I appreciate that.
Need your kokua.
We are in the finish line. We're almost to the finish line with that, council member. So would you like an update from
No.
Nancy on that? Or?
No, I just wanted to, I'm just doing, as they're winding on the budget with all of the agencies, I don't need that. I just wanted to, what I'm doing in these meetings is prioritizing what's important to me in my district or the operations of my office. That's all. No, Lakang, I have confidence in your leadership.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Kia, and Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Thank you. 2 questions. One is with regard to Microsoft 365. There's that $5.3 million expenditure line. Does that also include all of the departments that already had this?
Yeah, that's a good question, actually. So right now we're kind of negotiating with Microsoft. We've got up to 600 people that have budgeted for it themselves in different departments. And Microsoft said, you have to actually renew for an annual fee this month. And they're like, well, the city's going to, put more than 8,000 copies out, in July. So can we just get a prorated couple of months to take us over? And Microsoft so far is playing hardball, but I'm pretty sure I can get them to if they either pay the fee now and then get a prorated going forward, or we'll stall them out for a couple of months. So we are working on that. The PD in particular has hundreds of copies, and they're really worried about their budget. So yeah, we're working on that.
Okay, good. And then that means the 5.3, since it's a subscription service, that would be an ongoing cost from here forward.
It'll just be the cost of doing business from now on. Yeah, it's something that we should have been paying for, frankly, a long time ago. So
agreed. On slide 10, on the revenue slide, rental for use of land and easement grants. I know that many of these are things like cell towers stationed on city properties. One thing that I've noticed, and I actually sent your predecessor a letter about this in November of 2024, is that we at the council often get requests to approve these leases that are outside of the standards found in ROH. One thing that I'd like to work with you on is revisiting what those underlying standards are, so we don't have to be the ones approving them from time to time, and you guys can just automatically do that. If that makes 0 sense to you, that's totally fine. I will send you a letter and explain everything.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam. Councilmember Talba.
No, Chair, I just wanted to say thank you for the time that we did spend talking over your budget. No questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Talba. Committee Vice Chair Nishimoto.
I just have one question. We've been going through the budget briefings for a couple of days now. All these departments come in saying they need money for software licensing agreements. I'm just curious, do you have a master list of all the software licensing agreements that we have in the city?
That's an excellent question. I do. I spent the last year getting, kind of doing triage on everything that's in there. We, of course, pay licensing fees. The majority are paid by DIT, so we kind of know what's going on out there. But we have been surprised by some shadow IT groups that have gone out there and gotten something crazy or have something old and obsolete and still use it. So yeah, I have a list of those. I think I've identified all of them by now. I still get surprised, we still find out that we're using QuickBooks or something, that we shouldn't be.
So do you guys have input on what these departments get?
I would say yes, but there was some stuff going on before I got here that kind of slipped through the cracks, that we weren't consulted on. And then, but yeah, it's my intention to help the other departments to get what they need to make sure that we standardize on products and that we get the best deal possible.
So going forward, they have to get approval from you?
We would like them to, yeah. Our intention is to have our CSRs that are with that department, right? So there's at least one CSR for every department. And we're trying to get them into those C-suite meetings where the directors and deputies are talking about what they need, so that they can come back to me and tell what's going on. For instance, we have a landscape out there where there's 5 different work management systems that I would call tier 1 products that are being, used by other departments. Some departments have none but need one, and yet we have 5 different ones. Now, I'm not saying that we should standardize on one, but I'm thinking that there is room to at least boost that and leverage that out to the ones that don't have any.
Could we save money by maybe picking one?
Sometimes you can. It depends on if you can get an enterprise license. If you get an enterprise license for the whole city and without named users or anything, yeah, I mean, potentially you could save money.
So you guys are looking at that, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Nishimoto, Councilmember, or Chair Waters. Okay, before I go to round 2, I want to thank you again. I did have maybe just a couple of follow-up. I want to thank you for meeting with my team and I again. And I will say, I think you can tell just by some of the feedback that you have been such a great, a breath of fresh air for us. You've brought life back into the city in so many ways, trying to modernize a lot of our systems. And in meeting with a lot of the departments, I know that they're grateful for the changes that are being made because it'll help their processes, which will in turn help us to meet our needs for our constituents. You did mention the mainframe, and I wanted to talk about that. You said that right now you have a deal that if we miss, what happens with this deal that if we don't come up with the funding, what happens to the deal? I'm all about making deals and getting deals that are out there. So what happens if this time passes?
Well, okay, I'll set the table for everybody. Most of the states in the United States have gone with a $67 million package called FAST. And that seemed like a lot of money to ask the mayor for. So when I got here, I talked to all the different states, the Department of Transportation from all of them, and I ran into a guy named Eric Jorgensen in Arizona, and he has developed his own and is making it available to us so that we could join the community. So it's a code share thing that we would get into, and we would actually own the software ourselves, and we wouldn't have to buy it. So, I don't think there's a time limit on it. There are 4 other states that have gone live with this that are going to do the same thing we did. Wyoming just went live 2 months ago, and I think they're a really good test case for us because they're 580,000 people in the entire state, so it's pretty small population-wise, even though maybe not geographically. So, yeah, I think we're okay. We just need to, if it doesn't happen this year, it's got to happen next year. But after that, Mayor Blangiardi might, he's going to ride off into the sunset, and
So you said most states have a system that's about 67 million. You found one for 10 million. Is that correct?
Well, the software itself is for free. The 10 million is to take all the data from the IMS, CICS tables and convert them into something more relational, take all of the configuration of that software. For instance, Hawaii does vehicle registration by weight instead of by Blue Book value. So all those kind of things have to be taken care of. And that's going to take about 2 years. So it's not a slam dunk. It's not like they give us the code, we just turn it on. But I mean, it'll be a high pressure project that will take up a lot of energy, but it really has to get done.
And in this budget for you this year, what, do we have anything in here for you or nothing is allocated? Or was
Oh,
there
there's-
any of the 10 million in here?
I'm sorry, the question,
For the $10 million ask, where is it in this budget?
it's not in the
It's
budget.
not at
It
all?
didn't make it. No,
Nothing?
it didn't
Okay.
make it. So, yeah, so I asked for it. I didn't expect to get it from here. I think the state should actually pay for it. I've gone to DOT. I've tried to get a transaction fee on the back end. I've negotiated with some vendors who said they would do that for us. Earmarks might be an option, some federal funding. Short of a bake sale and a car wash, I'm ready to, do anything.
But also with technology, things evolve quickly. And so will this become obsolete at some point if we miss this year and the next year? Will this software that or this system that you're going after, will it then change and we will be looking at something else that will have another price tag on it?
I'm sorry, was the question, what will happen when we get the new system in?
No,
or-
so I'm just saying with technology, things become obsolete pretty quickly. So this system that we're looking at right now, if it's not implemented in 2 years, is it something that's gone and now we have to look at a new system? Is that
I'm
what
with
we're
you.
looking
That's a great question because, yeah, things do move really fast. Fortunately, the Department of Transportation in Arizona and the other 4 states are in a constantly evolving state. So they have a user group and they get together and they make it better. And so if we went with a solution, we would have mobile device support. We could, renew from home. We could, I can't tell you enough how good this would be for the people that work in the Department of Customer Service, because using this old system, there's so many manual processes, and then the customer experience of the people that come in to get their licenses renewed. There are probably people in this room who know how timely that is. In Arizona, the average customer time to be spent in like a satellite city hall is under 3 minutes versus our
that's
customer.
not what we experience here.
Yeah.
In any case
Yeah, when I was talking to them on the phone, they're like, oh, we got rid of all the chairs because nobody's there long enough to sit down. I'm like, okay.
That would be nice. Yeah. Okay. I had a couple more. So Councilmember Kiana mentioned her desire that she's had since being here to have some kind of system where she can access her constituent concerns easier. I know that just recently we had the 311 rollout. You had, I think it was somebody from your staff, I'm not sure, came out to the neighborhood boards and it also came out to the committees to share the 311. Is that something that could eventually take the place of what Councilmember Kiana is asking, and then also, I guess, the risers? Or is this something different? Trying to keep track of our constituent concerns.
Okay, that's a great question. Yeah, the Honolulu 311 has been rolled out, and that's been a success, and it's taking a lot of pressure off the 911 calls, especially during a storm or something. But we've got something that will take place, the place of the risers and the darts, and we're going to roll that out in the next couple of months. So it is coming. We've heard the councilwoman, and we know that it's really super important to her. So, Nancy's development team has been working hard on it, and we're definitely going to roll it past her before we go live. But it's a different product that has some of the same features.
Oh, good, great to hear. And is that in this budget? Was that from last year's budget, or both?
It comes out of our operational budget, so it's our own in-house development team that's doing that. So there's no separate licensing fee or anything.
Okay. But it's allocated for within your own operating budget?
Yeah.
Okay. And I did have just a quick question, and I know my team has given me a basic understanding of it, but when you have your revenue estimates and there's a wireless enhanced 911, the fees went down. From my understanding, it went from 1.8 to 1.4. That's based on what the state gives out, but what was the reason for that decreasing by about $485,000 for the projection for this year? That's on page 10. Hi, Deputy.
Yes, Stephen Courtney, Deputy Director, DIT. In regards to that, the reason why that was a 25% drop there is because that was for recording equipment, it's 911 recording equipment, and it needed to be refreshed. That happened in this FY26 cycle. So going to the that equipment lasts for like 6 years. So going to FY27, we don't need the money for that. So it's already been done already.
But then that will, when will that expire? When will the 6-year?
Oh, so then we'll refresh it again. So it may need extra money at that point.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for explaining that to me. That will be all of my questions. Follow-up questions. Yes, Councilmember Kia-Aina.
Just not questions, maybe I just wanted to follow up on the 10 million. So let me just tell you, with regard to congressional earmarks, $10 million is a lot of money. So all I'd like to give you some advice on is that since it is a collective state responsibility, if you do that route, 10 million is a lot, you need to get everybody's support, yeah? Not just the mayors, but you also need to get the governor's support. So that is for that earmark process. I would say that with regard to the state's obligation, if they are not going to be able to kokoa you at the legislature, that, you know, there's the various funding streams, right? I don't know what type of formula funding the state gets for certain IT funding, but they should certainly help you if they can, and if not, on the discretionary fund. So it does, it's regrettable that I feel that you are the one having to fight for that collective responsibility. And so I just empathize with you, but I just want to let you know the 10 million ask is going to be very difficult. You need kokoa from other parties if you're going to go that route, because it's going to make a difference in the ask. The only way it's going to succeed if you get others to join you in making the ask to both the senators as well as the representatives, okay?
I appreciate that, Councilman. I've actually asked Scott over here if he could give me some advice, and it's apparently we're in the process now with the legislation that we were putting through. One got shot down in the Senate, one made it through the first round in the House. So I'm getting an education on how everything works around here, and I guess we're in the process of trying to socialize the bill, and so people know what the ask is for. And I don't expect that I'll be successful in getting the 10. And when we talk to the people about earmarks and grants, they're saying that sweet spot is much lower than 10 million. And so, you know, it's kind of expectation setting. But yeah, I'm kind of trying to come up to speed on all the rules.
Yeah, you know, just hang in there.
Thank you, Councilmember Kia-Aina. Seeing no further questions, I would like to echo the mahalo to you and your team. I think Chair Waters, Councilmember Nishimoto, and myself, we can say how important it is whenever we can't even access our email. It's a very frustrating thing coming from the state to hear. So we are really grateful for the efforts that you've been taking to make sure that we get up to date and modernized so that we can do our jobs and service our communities. Shout out to my constituent, Tony Velasco. He keeps me updated from your side about the things that, you know, I can do and the great things that you guys are doing in your department. So thank you very much, Director. And thank you to your team.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, members, moving on to the Department of Facility Maintenance. We saved one of the best departments for last today. Yay. For your information, this presentation is available online as Department Communication 187, 2026. And I did see, oh, there he is. I did see joining us in the chamber is Director and Chief Engineer Gene Albano, joined by his Deputy Director Warren Mamizuka, and gladly now turn the time over to Director Albano.
Chair, if you could give us a few minutes just to have my team sit in the front.
Thank you for being patient and waiting to the end of our day today. No back row seats, Director said. People in the front row get A's in school. I was a teacher. Thank you, Director Albano, and your team.
Budget Chair Okimoto, Chair Waters, Council members, Gene Albano, Director and Chief Engineer of the Department of Facility Maintenance, and thank you again for us to present our fiscal year 27 budget. Before I do that, I'd like to quote Natalie Carter. Recognition is the gentle rain that nourishes the seeds of greatness sown to others. And so at this time, I'd like to introduce the others. First off, Deputy Director Mamizuka, Chief of Automotive Equipment Services, Robert Primiano. Chief of Public Building and Electrical Maintenance, Richard Yanetta. Assistant Chief of Public Building and Electrical Maintenance, Chad Padua. Program Administrator of our Stormwater Quality Division, Randall Okumoto. Assistant Chief of Road Maintenance, Dustin Harbottle. Executive Assistant Jasmine Hoffman. Administrative Services Officer Liana Ramos. And I'd also like to acknowledge our BFS budget analyst, Roy Miyamoto. And I am saving the best for last, simply because he is an institution to the city and county of Honolulu, and in a couple of months, he will be retiring. And it is my pleasure to recognize our Chief of Road Maintenance, Tyler Sugihara. Now to the task at hand. Our proposed fiscal year operating budget is $135.8 million, which is an increase of $864,000 or 0.64% higher than the current year. We have a salary decrease of $1.2 million or 2% lower. Our current expenses increased by $2.8 million, which is 3.7% higher, and our equipment costs is at $945,000 and $500,000, which is a 40% decrease from fiscal year 26. We do have 3 budget issues. The first one is pursuit of greaterness in order to reduce our vacancies and continue to try and have regular maintenance of our city infrastructure. It was apparent when I came on board that our largest division required additional administrative help. So we're hopeful to bring on a PSC who will be an administrative specialist with a salary of $61,000 and some change. The next 2 budget issues are related to 2 additional city facilities that have come on board that requires maintenance, and we require additional staff to be able to maintain those facilities. The first one is 222 North School Street. We're asking for our salaries of $184,000 and current expenses $362,000, primarily for utility bills and custodial services that are not, or supplies for that. The other facility is the blood bank building. Similarly, we need current expenses of $500,000 for maintenance, utility bills, as well as supplies. Our vacancies, we are at 217 at the moment, but as of 3/1, we are at 220 vacancies. We have 84 deactivated positions. And our overtime. Yeah. That's self-explanatory with where it's coming from in terms of revenues and funding. And the next slide indicates the overtime for each of our divisions. Next. Lastly, our revenues. Our revenues are primarily from parking fees, gas sales to the state and Board of Water Supply, lamppost banner displays, sidewalk cleaning and repairs, vacation accumulated deposits, fines from stormwater, perquisite housing, and federal grants. And lastly is our CIP budget. And rather than go through each of the line items, I am just simply open to any questions that council may have at this time. Thank you again for the opportunity to present our budget and look forward to any questions that council members have.
Thank you so much,
Thank you, Chair.
Director Albano. We'll start off this round of questions with Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Thank you, Chair. Two questions. Last year, there was a big push to acquire additional equipment. Obviously, this year, I see a slide with a number of other pieces of equipment. Were you able to procure all the equipment you requested last year?
We are in the process, but the critical equipment was our long reach, and we are happy to have received it in November. It's in operations as we speak, and we will be doing some public outreach in the near future to try and engage the public to allow us to really have the public understand our equipment and how critical it is for us to maintain our facilities.
Thank you. One of the proposals during the last budget year was $1 million for certain waterways to be better maintained here in town. I won't go into all the details of it, but that was a proposal that came before the Budget Committee. And we were told that even if the department got additional monies, you wouldn't be able to use that just because there's not enough throughput, I guess. We can't keep dumping money if there aren't enough people, enough equipment, et cetera. Has that situation gotten any better? Has that eased the bottleneck?
We have. We've made really significant progress in terms of our capacity and resources in terms of our labor force. When I came on board, we were at 40%. We are now close to 20%. So it has been evident. I looked at our fiscal year overtime revenue or budget, and in fiscal year 24, we were like 60% over our budget. For this coming year, we are having a trajectory of, I believe, 10%. So it's reflective of the reduction of overtime pay simply because we have more resources.
And is there a way for us to fund additional overtime without funding additional salaries or positions?
That is difficult in terms of projecting how much more overtime, and I believe it's simply more feasible for us to use salary savings to cover any excessive overtime. And it's a reflection. I'm looking at my notes. This year we'll be only 12% over our budget. And as we continue to ramp up our manpower, I believe we'll be closer to what we budget accordingly. And we can't anticipate emergency responses, priorities in terms of backlog work orders, and that's just really the wild card in terms of being able to project our overtime budget.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam, Councilmember Tolba, Committee Vice Chair Nishimoto, Chair Waters.
Yes, thank you so much. Good afternoon, Director. Good to see you and your team. What is the status of the stormwater system survey? I know that we passed Resolution 25-205 authorizing the transfer of $2,100,000 for the Stormwater Quality Division to conduct a stormwater planning study. Do you have an update on that?
Is that through the Climate Resiliency Fund, the CRF?
That's my
understanding. If it is, we are actually in the process of executing a contract.
Okay.
We went through all of the procurement process and just waiting for it to be executed. Okay. I want to make sure I'm not speaking out of turn and want to make sure, Randall? Yes.
Okay, so we're still in the procurement process.
And we do appreciate, Chair, that funding mechanism. We were struggling in terms of ultimately understanding how we introduce a stormwater utility fee. And this study will allow us to prioritize where we have aging infrastructure and allow constituents to understand, once the utility fee comes in place, where that fee is going to be used for.
No, exactly. And it'd be helpful for the council members to know as well, so we can go out and tell our communities that, hey, look, these are where we actually, well, keeping in mind this rain that's about to hit this week, I'm really scared about all the stormwater system that may be overwhelmed. So I'll be keeping an eye out in my district, and we'll
Our
keep in
department
touch.
fully
Yeah. Are you guys, I mean,
concurs.
I'd imagine you guys are out there cleaning stream mouths right now in preparation for.
In fact, we
big rain.
had a call to address something in Waiho. Everything is open, all of the stream mounts are open, and so we're just on standby mode, waiting for the heavy rains to occur hopefully this delayed till the weekend.
Yeah, thank you guys very, very much. Thank you. Are DFM and ENV collaborating on storm and wastewater planning?
There is an integrative process that's being planned, and this will allow some of that wastewater fee to be used for stormwater. And ENV is taking the lead. And Randall, would you like to say a little bit more about the integrative process?
Yeah, please.
Thank you, Chair.
Good afternoon, Randall Wakamoto, Program Administrator for our Stormwater Quality Division under DFM. So confirming, yes, it's just started. Actually, just in the beginning of this year, ENV has their contract to start that integrated planning approach. So we met with them actually this month. EPA representatives are actually coming on island. And so there's going to be a further discussion with the EPA officials as well as the State Department of Health in terms of explaining what that process is going to look like. And then, so it's still at the early stages, but the intent is to collaborate with environmental services in terms of prioritizing projects, whether for wastewater, but also for stormwater. And then the intent is to see if there's an opportunity to put more of that funding and emphasis on stormwater projects to demonstrate that water quality benefits.
Fantastic. If you guys can keep us in the loop and update us in the future, that would be great. Thank you so much. Dealing with road repair, does DFM and DDC both do road repair? It was confusing
Yes.
for me. Yeah.
DDC primarily does the CIP, which consists of the rehabilitation of streets, whereas DFM does the interim measure in terms of resurfacing, where we just do mill and fill, a temporary service for the road, just extending the life of the road until we have a rehabilitation project that's led by DDC.
I see. Okay. Does DFM maintain a prioritized list of streams that require vegetation removal due to flood risk? I know we just talked about that, but is there like certain streams that you know are problematic?
There is a regular schedule that we try to stay on schedule with. And obviously, we do rely on constituents to help us to identify if there is overgrowth in certain streams and then address it accordingly.
Fantastic. Does the state, you know, and I used to represent Waimanalo. It was interesting because the streams in Waimanalo, some parts of it were state, some parts were city, and even other parts were private.
Private, yep.
Does the state help in cleaning these streams, or is it kind of falling on the city?
They do their best to maintain their jurisdiction, and streams are a little bit complicated because upstream may be non-city, so everything goes downhill and eventually gets to city waterways. And so in as much as other jurisdictions maintain their portions of the streams, I believe we have collaborated as best as we can with the state as well as private owners to do our best to maintain our streams.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair Waters. Councilmember Kia-Aina, and then I'll come back to Councilmember Cordero.
I just can make some comments. I actually don't have a lot of questions because I bother you guys all the time. So listen, first of all, there's big picture and then this short term. Thank you so much for what you guys are doing for storm preparation. Both your the Kailua as well as Kailua Waimanalo as well as your Kaneohe base yard supervisor, superb. Appreciate the Ka'elepulu berm being opened and monitored on a daily basis throughout this storm. Your team, of course, Deputy Director Mamizuka, your team from Roads, both Tyler Sugihara and Dustin Harbottle, Randall Wakamoto, of course. Randall, my God, you need to get a medal for all of the community meetings you've held for Ka'elepulu. So I see a lot of projects in my district. Again, there's nothing. I just appreciate all that you guys do. Less than 1% in increase. I know your totality of your budget is, a lot, but still, you guys did your darndest to hold the line. So less than 1% increase. Just greatly appreciate all that you guys are doing. Maybe just a comment on the terminology, road maintenance. It's kind of misleading, of course, because you guys do so much more than road maintenance. And when we direct people to your email, it's DFM roads, right? So I don't know. I mean, stream maintenance is a big deal. So I don't know, maybe you guys need to think about modifying it to kind of, so people understand the exact kuleana that you have. So no questions. And then also, I don't think Tyler should be allowed to retire. Anyway, take care, you guys.
Councilmember, thank you. We will take that under advisement, and if you do see DFM streams at honolulu.gov, it is because of you. So thank you.
Oh, okay.
Mahalos.
Thank you, Flor Leader Kia-Aina. Councilmember Cordero.
Thank you, Chair Okimoto, and thank you, Director Albano and the team, the Superstar team, for being here. I have a question because I don't want to see any duplicative funds, but I did notice that there's funding for the blood bank of Hawaii area in Kalihi, and I know the Emergency Services Department also has funding for that because, of course, they're going to be hopefully moving there. So what is that $502,000 that you're allocating in your operating budget for that area? And is that the same blood bank building? Maybe it's a different one, but
no, it's
please correct me if I'm wrong.
Kalihi. That 500,000. There. Yeah, it's really the utilities with some maintenance that we anticipate having to do for the blood bank building.
Okay.
Yep.
And
I believe it's not double funded. I think Ian folks or Dr. Ireland folks are simply just identifying that as a budget item as they present.
I see.
Similarly, where we have DDC projects on our DFM presentation, but obviously DDC does those CIP projects.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
I do want to highlight, because this is something big in my district that we've had to tell our constituents over and over again, so I need to get it on the record. Actually, a lot of them are watching, even businesses are watching, and it's kind of scary. They're emailing me about it, and my staff about it. But about the cranes or even excavators for from the Honolulu yard. Do we have backup for that? And are we going to have backups for other cranes in different yards, not just Honolulu yard, but like in the west side, and Councilmember Kia-Aina's area, just so that we don't have to take Councilmember Kia-Aina's or Councilmember Tupola's excavator?
Yes, so we have redundancy in our major equipment.
Perfect.
In future budgets, we're hopeful to have what we call N+1, in which we then have the ability to rotate 3 pieces of equipment and then have one as a ultimately a backup of a backup.
Because last year you broke my heart when you said no. So very happy that we have the +1. And thank you. And really, and just the last question, what's the difference between a mobile crane versus the crane truck, because it's budgeted for $510,000. Just want to make sure that that's also equally not shared, but that we have enough. Once again, I don't want to take anything from Councilmember
No worries.
Timola's
So,
or Councilmember
Obviously, I'm
Kiana's.
an electrical engineer, and I will take this time to allow
Oh no,
Chief
sorry.
Sugihara to explain the difference. Oh, is it our first line item?
Yeah.
And okay, I'm sorry, it's for Richard Janetta.
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead.
sorry,
Richard
Fast
Jan-
Kind. I didn't realize it was needed you to go up, but like Fast Kind.
Not a problem. Richard Janetta, Chief Public Building and Electrical Maintenance. The crane truck is really for our traffic and electrical maintenance service branch. That's for street lighting, and they need that to lift the poles and the street lighting. So that's a little bit different from road division.
Thank you.
Tyler Sugihara, Chief of Road Maintenance, DFM Division of Road Maintenance. So our crane is used for stream maintenance, and so we have the last lattice crane that I guess is on its last legs. So we had it in for repairs, and they don't make the parts anymore. So they did away nationwide with making these lattice cranes. And so we're gonna need to pivot and then get probably a hydraulic crane coming up in the future.
Okay.
What we have been doing though is we've been working on our equipment training program. So at the chief engineer's office, we hadn't had an active training program for about 10 years now. And so it's been mostly in-house senior staff training other senior staff.
Okay, Chief Sugihara, before you leave, please get +1 for all the other stuff, because I am not going to take from Councilmember Kiana's, okay?
So we are working on that, but what's important is we only used to have one operator for the crane. And so it's a very difficult process.
Okay.
Crane operators are making probably in excess of $200,000 a year for at the dock sites. And so we're going to be training. We do have now 2 crane operators, certified crane operators. So we'll have the second crane being brought in. We're in the process of procuring that. We do have 2 long-reach excavators, and as we speak, one is at Kailepulu Stream, and one is going to be in Waianae. And then the third, we have another third excavator, which is at Kahala. So we'll be ready to open up all the streams. They've already been opened, but if the sand plugs it up again, we'll be ready.
Okay, thank you very much. I just know that all the council members get under fire for about the streams, and if something's down, I mean, then they tell us to go into the stream. And then your guys had to come and save me because me trying to go into the stream was dangerous. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Okimoto.
Thank you, Councilmember Cordero. Aloha, good afternoon. Again, Director Albano. I hope I had just a few quick questions. I'm going in order of your slides. You had on your page 6 your subsidized funded vacancies for the general highway. So I'm looking at the numbers. We may have gone over this when we did meet, but you can refresh my memory. As of February 1st, 2017, and with, I guess, people leaving and you filled one, the vacancies as of the 1st is 220, but the projection is that you'll get it down to 88 that will not be funded, but 33 of them will be filled. Is that correct?
That is the aspiration.
That's the
for
aspiration,
fiscal year
okay.
2027.
Okay.
That's why I have greatness behind me.
And your department, I know historically, since we've been here, has cut into your vacancies, which is really nice to see and know. But I would like to know how successful we are at this, because if those are really good projections, and hopefully we can do that. Most of these positions are for what?
In many cases, as we discussed during our meetings, we have really introduced our driver and heavy equipment training program that was dormant when I came on board, but because we have been able to reinvigorate that training program, we're now in position to train our current staff to allow for promotional opportunities. That was the gap that was missing. So in a couple of years at most, we'll fill those positions as they get seat time, their certification, and then we will backfill. So that's the aspiration of
Great
only
planning.
having 33
Signs
with
of
the
great
greatness
leadership is
behind
when you
me.
have a succession plan. That's really good to see that you opened up that avenue to have movement. That's really good. Thank you for verifying that, and we'll look forward to the updates. Think positive. We're manifesting it right now into the universe. on slide 9, just to kind of get it's not, just to get a greater understanding. So you show that the revenue is decreasing over the last 3 fiscal years, including this estimated one for 2027. What were the reasons for that again?
The big reason for a reduction for next year is that we did have a one-time revenue stream from our recovery from damaged streetlights. We tackled that this past year. That generated an estimated of $339,000. And so we don't anticipate that being generated for fiscal year 27.
Got it. Thank you for explaining that. And my last question, related to what you've been asked by other council members with the stormwater cleanup. You know, you're my buddy when I get to go to Pearl City neighborhood board meetings, and in that district, in that part of my district specifically, there was historically areas that were really greatly affected by stormwater. So since then, you have been taking precautionary measures, and I am grateful. On your last slide, you have the major equipment that you have budgeted to be precautionary. That's good to know. I'm thinking of, you have, I think it was explained just earlier, the cranes, I don't know, all the types of equipment, the things that will clean up beforehand. So what happens if it gets flooded in the after fact? Do we have pump trucks, or is that something that EMV does, or do we outsource that?
We have the Vector trucks that suck 'em
Vector
up.
trucks, okay. Is that in here? Or not in this year's budget, but you have them already?
We actually had that in previous years.
Previous year, so not for this budget.
But not for our current budget. I think there's one, we have one at lower in the priorities, I believe. Yep.
But the goal is to be precautionary, which I know you've done, so that we don't have to use that on
That
the
is
back end.
correct.
But we do have the resources should they be needed. Okay,
We have more resources to respond much sooner.
okay. Thank you. And I know that you've worked with me and my team a lot, answering questions, getting out in the community. All of our districts will be impacted, and there seems to be more storms this spring than in the past. So I know you guys have been busy. I want to mahalo you for your efforts. I will now gladly take, I think we go back for quickly round 2, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam, Councilmember Tolba, Vice Chair Nishimoto, Chair Waters, Councilmember Cordero, and Councilmember Kiaina. Wow, okay, great. Thank you so much for
Thank you
being here,
again.
Director Albano and your team.
Wow. Thank you.
Okay, members, quickly, as a reminder, if you have any supplementary questions for the departments, please provide them to my office so we may compile them for the department or the Managing Director's office to respond. Another quick reminder, weather permitting, tomorrow our hearing is scheduled for 10 a.m. Again, however, if there are weather difficulties, we do have a meeting posted agenda for Tuesday, the 17th, should the meeting tomorrow need to be canceled. Please, everyone, stay safe and dry, and mahalo everyone for attending, participating in today's meetings. There will be no further business. This meeting is adjourned.